This is the Fluid Jobs podcast, where motorsport professionals share their journeys and offer actionable advice for breaking into and advancing in the competitive world of motorsport. In today's podcast, I chat with Mark Winwood, Customer Support Manager at Race Logic. If you're aiming to break into motorsport or level up your career, this episode is for you. Mark shares actionable advice on how being proactive and enthusiastic can set you apart, plus practical tips on gaining experience even without a degree. And you'll walk away with clear steps to advance your career in motorsport. Hi Mark, well first of all thank you very much for joining me today, really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no, great to be here.
So first of all, could you just tell us a little bit about your role within Race Logic and actually what Race Logic do as a company in motorsport?
Yeah, sure. So I'm the customer support manager for Race Logic, and Race Logic, we operate in a few different industries or sort of sectors, if you like. We're primarily probably known in the UK for motorsport, for our data loggers and our lap timing devices. We also have a large presence in the VBox in the automotive industry, so providing test equipment for automotive manufacturers and tyre manufacturers, people like that. And then we have a kind of a third string to our bow, which is around our LabSat GNSS record and replay devices, which is really a test device for people who want to, who are developing any device that uses GPS, really. They can use that as a test facility. So, those are our main sectors that we operate in. And we've been around for about over 30 years now. But we started off very much with motorsport in mind, and that's probably where we're best known. Yeah,
it's certainly where I know you guys best from. Almost every race car that I've jumped in the last 15 years or so has had some sort of V-Box in it. Fantastic system and very useful for getting quicker on track.
Yeah.
And so I suppose the logical question from here is just what types of roles do you have at Race Logic, and how is that kind of distributed across the company?
Yeah, so quite a lot of varied roles. So all our products are designed, developed, and produced in-house. So we've got a broad range of roles within the business, from software developers, firmware developers, hardware design engineers, and then people in my team, so customer support. We've obviously got wide-ranging dealer networks. Testing as well is a big thing for us. So because we're designing the product, to developing it, producing it, and selling it, we have a huge range of roles across the company. So it's quite diverse. My team is primarily customer support. So we're looking after our network of dealers who are all around the world, and both private individuals and supporting other manufacturers or other engineers working in automotive and motorsport as well. So yeah, it's pretty broad.
Fantastic. Yeah, I was aware that you guys kind of produce all of the hardware there and the software as well. So it's actually quite a broad scope of different roles that you have within Race Logic itself. From that point, then, I suppose, personally, and as you've been working at Race Logic, what kind of advice would you give to someone who's looking to start a career in motorsport?
I think for all motorsport businesses, being proactive is the most important thing. What everyone's looking for is generally people who are enthusiastic, proactive, and inquisitive, if you like. Certainly for a company like us, we've grown from being quite a small company, and we're now we continue to grow quite strongly. We're always looking for people who are basically interested, enthusiastic, and want to go and discover things and develop new ideas, and really people who aren't going to sit back, people who are going to be proactive and go out there and make things better, really, for both our customers and for us as a business. And I think that's probably something that is similar to a lot of businesses within motorsport, is they're often quite small, and they kind of rely on people who are prepared to be proactive and get involved with things that maybe they wouldn't normally get involved with, and just use their passion to investigate and push new ideas, really.
Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense. Actually, that's a very common theme through the podcast and the interviews that we've been doing so far. Being proactive, being genuinely interested in the roles that you're actually going for. Um, Mark, are there any kind of specific examples that you could actually share with us where, someone has been proactive, someone has been getting out there, being interested in the roles? What does that look
Yeah.
like in the real world?
So some applicants or some people that have joined us have done things in their spare time where they work in motorsport for maybe lower level motorsport teams that they volunteer with at the weekend. So maybe they will be getting involved with that on an unpaid basis just to get some experience and understand how a race team might operate on a motorsport weekend. That gives them a good insight into the sort of the kind of challenges that motorsport customers face. And so that's a good example that we see quite often. People who are using their spare time to basically learn more about motorsport and actually not just watching it, but actually understanding how motorsport works and how people in the motorsport arena operate. So anything like that, we always look for people who are prepared to take their passion and actually want to spend time following it, learning about it, and getting involved in any way they can. That'll always stand people in really good stead for a job anywhere in motorsport, I think, and obviously at somewhere like Race Logic.
Yeah, of course. There's kind of two things that spring to mind that I know that some people say with regard to going and volunteering and things like that. I mean, in my mind, first of all, if you want to be involved in motorsport, because it is a brilliant industry, get out there and get involved, even if it means working for 6 months or something for free on the weekends, right? Of course, you can have
Yeah.
your normal role. I think that's critically important. If you want to get your foot in the door, you've really got to do those things. And the second question that I know pops up, we have a diverse range of people watching our content from all around the world globally. And some people struggle, I suppose, to understand how they might even get into like a race team or even if it's lower level. But, when you look at the opportunities around Formula Student or even, online sim racing or something like this, at least it shows willing. And if you're in Europe or the UK, you're definitely not too far away from a racing circuit to warrant getting there on the weekend and just going to hang around and actually trying to get involved with the team.
Yeah, I think it's surprisingly easy, actually. If you just put yourself around and are at race events, low-level club motorsport, you'll find you'll make friends, you'll meet people, and you'll always be opportunities to help out. And quite often that just develops from there. You just end up doing a little bit more. You start going a little bit more often, and then you start realizing you're learning quite a lot. And the team starts thinking, actually, this guy's quite useful. Maybe it's good having them around. So, and sim racing as well is another one. We've got quite a few guys who work with me who are very into sim racing, and they play quite a large part in the sim racing community. It's another way that people can get involved and just develop their enthusiasm, really.
Absolutely. So being proactive is really, really important. And I guess my follow-up questions are around how you guys understand what applicants to move on to the next stage when you are hiring. Aside from having a section about being proactive on their CVs, is there anything else that can help a candidate stand out?
Yeah, I think hobbies in general. So I'm always quite interested to see what someone's interests are outside of professional life or outside of work. So I'll quite often, it could be anything. It doesn't really even have to be motorsport related. It could just be technology related or any sort of enthusiastic passion that someone has for something. If they've got that and they've done something in a very coordinated way, or they've had a specific project they've worked on, or there's some club they run, or anything that shows they're willing to take their own time and invest it in their passion and their enthusiasm, then I think that's always a great sign. It's always something I look for. And as I said, it doesn't even have to be motorsport related directly, although it often is. Anything like that is something I like to see.
Yeah, I suppose it shows some kind of, for want of a better phrase, some get up and go, some, they're getting involved, they're getting out there, and that's the kind of people that you want to get on your team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love to see people's enthusiasm come out. And generally, if you're enthusiastic about something, you're going to be better at it than someone who's not interested. So I think that's a pretty strong rule. And it just it helps someone can demonstrate that it's not just words on paper. It's like, what have you actually done to try and improve your knowledge or to improve yourself and to learn more about your subject, whatever that is. I'm always looking for evidence of that.
Now, I'm sure this depends on the type of role that you're hiring for, but how important is a university degree to race logic and moving through that application stage?
Well, university degrees are very common now, but I wouldn't say it's an essential. We've got a mixture of people on my team. Some people have come from backgrounds where they've just started work and gained work experience that's relevant to our sectors. But a number of people have got university degrees, often motorsport engineering or automotive engineering degrees are quite common. So I don't think it's essential, and I've certainly recruited people who don't have that. It is becoming quite common, but if they don't have something like a motorsport or automotive engineering qualification, then some sector-related experience and even just evidence of volunteering within the motorsport or the car world, if you like, can be a good alternative.
Fantastic. I mean, that's great to hear, actually, that you can actually balance that not having a degree with some experience and getting your hands dirty out there. That makes me feel rested because I don't have a degree.
Yeah, neither do I. So that's it.
Good on you, Mark. Well done. And then at the interview stage, for you, when you're interviewing, what would the person on the other side, what would be the perfect kind of meeting that you would have with them? How would they stand out? How would they answer the questions, and what would you be looking for in them?
I think you're looking for that good rapport with someone that kind of sort of happens naturally, someone who's open and happy to talk. Communication is very important, particularly in our job when we're talking to customers on a regular basis and lots of different types of people all around the world. So being able to clearly communicate is essential. So I'm looking for that openness, willing to communicate, and just to show that evidence of the passion and the desire they have to work in this industry and to learn and go forwards. We tend to be recruiting people who are younger and earlier in their career. So we're not looking for the finished article. We're looking for people that have potential, people that we think can develop along with us as we build the company. I think most people probably know when an interview's gone well because you've developed that rapport with someone and you've had a good conversation, and it can become a bit more relaxed and free-flowing. So that's the kind of thing I'm looking for when I'm interviewing someone.
And this is kind of a bit of a personal question because I've had it happen to me, actually. But like, are you just looking for the person to be natural and their own self on the other side, not do any kind of interviewee tricks that they might have read online?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I try and put people at ease, actually, to try and get that to happen. Because obviously an interview can be a tense situation. People naturally will get nervous. But my tactic is very much to try and put them at ease early on in the interview so that they can be themselves and so that they can just express who they are. And we can have an open conversation and they can show me why they want to work with us, and their passion can come out, really. That's what I'm looking for.
And do you guys ever look? I suppose it harps back to one of the questions at the beginning. But do you guys ever check out like a candidate's blog or LinkedIn post to see if they are actually involved in motorsport and putting interesting content out into the world?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely we'll look into that. And we're always interested to see and understand, and to find that evidence is great. So yeah, we definitely do that. It's getting more common, I think, and it's good to see.
Brilliant. So Mark, I think we're pretty much done there. One final question is just, is there anything else that you're looking for? Is there anything that I've missed there where candidates can actually attach onto and that can help them in the process?
I think really it's understanding that we're a growing company and we're looking for people who want to grow with us. We tend to look for people who want to spend a few years working with the company. So we're always looking for that longer term commitment, if you like. We invest in our people, so we want to make sure we get it right. And I think the most important thing that candidates can do is demonstrate practically that they're committed to working in this industry, and just to do anything they can to demonstrate their passion and their enthusiasm for working in this industry. That always goes a long way.
Brilliant. And when you speak about investing in the staff, what does that look like for Race Logic? I suppose it's varied depending on role.
Yeah, because we're lucky in a way, because we're such a varied company and there's so many different roles within the business. There isn't a sort of defined path that everybody can go along. There's actually lots of potential paths. And what we tend to do is work with people and identify their interests and the areas that they want to go into or gain more experience in, and we very much work with them to develop a path for that individual. And as I said, fortunately, because we've got so many different departments, different roles, and even different products that we're involved with, we've got quite a lot of flexibility there. So.
Brilliant. All right, Mark, I think we'll call it a day there. If anyone wants to find out more about Race Logic, where should they go?
You can go to any of our public websites, vboxmotorsport.co.uk or vboxautomotive.co.uk. You can get to our careers page through there, where we list all our vacancies, and we quite regularly have a range of vacancies available.
Brilliant. Mark, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it, and speak to you soon.
Okay, thanks a lot.